Welcome to the RAOB program's interactive Hodograph. All examples shown in this video require use of the optional Hodograph and Interactive Program module. This video demonstrates how you can use the mouse to interactively change winds as seen on the Hodograph diagram. But first, and just as a reminder, you can manually alter temperature and wind data with RAOB's built-in editor. Just go to the Edit menu and then select the Edit Decoded Data option. There you can use the Pressure and Temperature tab to edit temperature data, and use the Height and Wind tab to edit the wind data. Okay, here we can see the Sounding Diagrams mini Hodograph. This mini Hodograph cannot be altered with the mouse click and drag actions. To do that, we must use the full screen Hodograph. There are two ways to display the full screen Hodograph. First, you can go to the Displays menu and then select the Hodograph option. To see the second option, we'll first need to return to the Sounding Diagram. We could use the Displays menu again and then select the Sounding option, but instead we'll just move the mouse over the Sounding Diagram icon and then click on it. And now we can demonstrate the second way to access the full screen Hodograph. Just move the mouse over the mini Hodograph box until a new expansion mouse cursor image appears, and then click it. Okay, let's have some fun. Just pick a wind and click and drag it to alter the wind values. As the changes are being made, 6 things happen. 1. The Hodograph line is stretched to reflect the wind's new position on the diagram. 2. A gray line defines the original Hodograph curve. 3. The altered wind is graphically depicted as a red wind plot along the right side of the diagram. 4. The altered wind is depicted in a text format on the data listing as seen along the left side of the diagram. 5. The cursor data box displays both the new and the old wind data. And 6. A list of several Hodograph parameters are simultaneously updated as the wind value is altered. And just like changing the sounding's temperature profile, you can undo any data changes by using the menu bar's Restore option. So now let's make it a little more interesting by adding the storm motion vector. To do that, we can either go to the Options menu and select the Diagram options, or just right-click while over the Hodograph like this. Then select the Storm Motion tab, and then select the Plot Storm Motion Vector option, and apply it. And here we can see the storm motion vector plotted in dark brown, and the storm motion details are listed at the top of the Hodograph. So now when we interactively alter a wind with click and drag actions, we can see the storm motion vector being changed, and the vector details are simultaneously being updated in the above title text. Okay, let's restore the Hodograph winds, and now let's alter the storm motion vector directly. To do this, we must select the storm motion vector's arrowhead, and then click and drag it like this. During this operation, the Hodograph curve remains constant, and only the storm motion vector and associated Hodograph parameters are changed. And when you release the mouse, the storm motion vector arrowhead is redrawn, and the above diagram title changes to a red color to indicate that the storm motion is now manually defined. And if you want to return to the original automatically defined storm motion vector, just click on the Reset option like this. Okay, let's make it even more interesting. This time we'll again call up the Diagram Options panel, select the Storm Motion tab, and now we'll change from the traditional storm motion method to the bunkers method, and be sure to add the left moving vector graphic. So let's apply these changes. And now we can see the bunker's right moving vector in dark brown and a left moving vector in a magenta or purple color. Both are labeled below the diagram. And now when you click and drag a Hodograph wind, both the left and right store motion vectors simultaneously change. Okay, let's again use the Restore menu to return the Hodograph to its original diagram. Now we'll again call up the Diagram Options panels, and this time we'll add the Plot Top and Bottom 0.5 kilometer layer vectors, which are used to define the bunker's store motion vectors. Then we'll apply the change, and now we can see plotted in gray colors the bottom vector and the top vector. And when we alter a midpoint wind, those gray vectors do not change. That's because the gray vectors are only defined at the Hodograph boundaries. So to change the bottom vector, we'll alter a low-level wind. And to change the top vector, we'll alter a high-level wind. Alright, it's time to restore the Hodograph again. And again, call up the Hodograph Options panels and return to the traditional store motion method. And now click on the Vector, Shears, and Helicity tab, and here we'll turn on the Graphically up shear and down shear options, and then apply. And now we can see the Graphically vectors plotted in blue and cyan colors. And now when we alter wind data, all three store motion vectors change. In this way you can see how sensitive your Hodograph is to any changes in wind vectors. And now it's time again to restore the Hodograph. Now we'll again call up the Hodograph options, and we'll turn off the Graphically vectors. And this time jump to the bottom of the panel and select the Helicity contours with a depth of 0 to 3 kilometers, and then apply it. Now we can see the 0 to 3 kilometer helicity lines drawn in a light tan color, and they are also labeled in the upper right corner. And when we alter any of the Hodograph winds, the helicity lines remain stationary. But when we stop and release the mouse button, the helicity lines readjust themselves in response to the new Hodograph wind. So let's do that one more time. And now let's again restore the winds. This time let's zoom in for this next item. Notice that the 0 to 3 kilometer helicity value is listed in the below parameter listing, where its value is 314. Also notice that the store motion vector's arrowhead is also located at the same 314 helicity value. And when we interactively alter the store motion vector with the mouse, we can see the 3 kilometer helicity values automatically change. And when we release the mouse, the store motion arrowhead again points to the 3 kilometer helicity value. In order to return the store motion vector to its original values, we use this Reset option. And for the last time, we'll recall the Hodograph options and turn off the helicity contours, and then select the Display Shear Data option. And here in the lower right corner is our table of 3 shear values and the respective depths of 6, 4, and 2 kilometers. And now we'll alter the surface wind because this is the only wind that will change all of the table's values at the same time. And that completes the RAOB program's interactive Hodograph demonstration. Thank you for watching.